What's going on, guys? Ivan Grijalva here, the solar guy. I have a special treat for you. Today we're going to be covering the three main options of how to go solar today for residential homeowners. So I'm going to be covering over the pros and the cons of each one of these options. Hopefully it resonates with you, and hopefully it helps you make a more informed and smoother decision when we're talking about residential solar. Okay? So let's get straight into it. So the cash option, basically what this is right here, pretty straightforward. The cash, you're literally taking the cash out of your bank account to buy out solar right. Now the benefits with that is you're prepaying for your electricity, so you don't have to depend on the grid, which leads me to point pro number one is energy independence. Since you own your small little power plant on top of your rooftop that's producing all the electricity needs that you and your family need in the home, you don't have to rely on these big electric companies anymore. Okay, so with that is you have your energy independence because you produce your own electricity for your home, which is pretty sweet. Number two is going to be lower long-term costs. Okay, so with paying outright for your solar system, you're prepaying for your electricity by buying solar. Now with that, again, you don't have to depend on the electricity provider. So they're going to charge you little to no money for any electricity because, again, you are your own provider of your electricity, and that is by far an amazing thing. Now, number three is going to be the increased home value. This is dependent upon your location, the type of home that you actually have, and a few other factors, okay? So it does, by having solar on your home, it does increase the home value. So if you were to sell your home with solar on it, obviously you're able to sell that at a higher value. Great for you, great for your pockets. Now number four, the cool thing about buying your solar system is there is an awesome tax incentive, a federal, and in some cases a state, depending again on your area, your location, the state that you live in. I would do definitely a little bit more research on other incentives that they may offer in your area. But this is pretty sweet because the way it works is the federal government literally helps you pay for the solar system by helping you with the tax incentive. And right now I think it's at like 30% as we speak today, 2023 September. But yeah, so as far as the cons for the cash option, with pros, there's obviously cons. The biggest con with this is the big initial investment. You do have to get a large amounts of money to pay outright for your solar system. So that's pretty much the main con for the cash option. Number two, which is financing. This is one of the most popular ones by all means, due to the fact that one, there is no upfront cost, not a dime out of pocket, a single penny comes out of your pocket to have solar on your rooftop. Okay, so that's really sweet. You could use that big lump sum of money to, help your family out or pay something else, right? So the cool thing about this is it's actually a bill swap. So instead of you paying the utility provider for the electricity, again, since you have solar on your roof, with solar, the whole point of it is to get rid of that utility bill. So essentially, this is a financed, but you have a fixed payment that you would be paying for solar. You get rid of the utility provider. So again, right now you're paying the utility provider. You have a bunch of fluctuations. Always goes up with inflation and all of that with the rate increases. We simply, with the financing option, just eliminate that hassle and just replace it with a fixed solar payment that never goes up. You never have to worry about inflation ever again. And obviously, since you are purchasing this, it does add value to your home. Just like the cash option, if you were to sell, you can sell that at a higher value, which is really sweet. Because the electricity bill that you're paying right now is literally going nowhere, right? So the number four, since this is a purchase, the financed route, you do also get the tax incentives. Again, there's the federal 30% right now. State depends on where you live. I would do more research on that one. And obviously, number five is going to be you actually own your solar system, your mini power plant on your rooftop. You don't have to depend on the utility provider. So again, the pros of these right here, straight from the financing. The cons with the pros, there are cons. So with the cons with this one, with the financing option, number one is it is a loan, usually anywhere from about 5 to 25 years, depending on your situation. But the cool thing about this loan, it is transferable. The way it works is the new home buyer actually just picks up exactly where you left off. So it's not that big of a deal anymore. Also, with a loan comes interest, so that is a downside on this one. Usually anywhere from about 3 to 6% on average nowadays. Again, September 2023 may change when you see this video. So essentially with that, those are the two main cons. The cool thing about this is it's literally the reason why it's one of the most popular options is because one, everybody needs electricity. You're already paying it. You're just swapping out that bill that you're currently overpaying for something that's cheaper, fixed, flat, that you actually own. So this is definitely a great option. Last but not least is going to be number 3, which is the PPA or Power Purchase Agreement. Now, this option right here, I know it can get a little bit confusing sometimes, but simply put, all you're doing is agreeing to purchase the power that the solar panels on top of your roof are producing. So this route right here, you're not actually purchasing the solar, okay? The company actually owns the solar system still. So they're just putting that mini power plant up there, and you're just purchasing the power that is being produced by the solar, okay? So it's basically a whole new utility through solar, through cleaner energy. Now the pros with this is there's still no upfront cost, so this is really sweet as well. So all of that money that you would have to pay lump sum with cash, you don't have to worry about it. You don't even have your first payment until actually the solar's already up there and it's actually producing that electricity that you need. Pro number 2 is going to be cheaper than utility. In most cases, depends on how much cheaper, depends on your location, your area. I know California has super high rates, so PPAs are really popular over there. Connecticut, Texas, there's solar popping up everywhere nowadays. Number 3 is going to be option to own after 5 to 6 years. Okay, so I know we talked about a power purchase agreement not being an ownership program, so you don't actually own the solar panels. But the sweet thing about this right here is after your 5th or 6th year under the power purchase agreement, you do have the option still to buy the system, okay? And at that point, obviously it would get appraised depending on all that good stuff. And maybe you could get a huge discount on your solar system, okay? So that's why this one is another popular one for sure, because you still don't close that door of being able to purchase your solar. Now, number 4 is going to be no effect on your debt to income ratio. I know the reason why the PPA option is usually one of the most popular ones is because people don't like taking out loans sometimes. And that's totally fine. Cool thing about a PPA, doesn't show up on your credit because there's no debt, so you're not financing the solar system. So it doesn't affect your debt to income ratio if you're trying to buy a new car, if you're trying to buy a new home or anything like that. So that's a pretty sweet thing with a PPA. Now, number 5 is predictable pricing. The cool thing about this one, it is a fixed rate. The power purchase agreement, there is a 2.99% escalator rate. But the escalator, which your payment basically goes up 2.99% or 3% once every year. So after that increase, it stays fixed, right? So every year it goes up 2.99%. Compared to the utility companies, they usually increase their utility or anywhere from 5 to 15, in some cases even 30% on the year. So PPA, it will never go above a 2.99% increase. Okay, so you're literally predicting the pricing that you're going to be paying for the years to come. Okay, so with the pros comes the cons. So the cons with this is there are no tax incentives with the power purchase agreement due to the fact that you don't own the system, you're not buying the system. Federal government only works if you're purchasing the system. Con number 2 is there is no added value. You're not purchasing the system. It's not your solar system on that rooftop, so it does not add any value to the home, unfortunately. Number 3 is this is a long-term commitment, anywhere from about 25 years in most cases. But the cool thing about this one right here, there's a service transfer guarantee. So it is transferable to the new home buyer if you do choose to sell your home within that 25-year range. And number 4 is going to be the no ownership. You just don't own